Coming back to our concepts about the virtualization, in the last class we had discussed what a virtualization can be and what and all the possibilities of virtualization. That is in terms of emulation and simulation I was talking about. And other thing is objectives of virtualization. That is 4 objectives. If you could remember, increase of hardware resources, improvising the business flexibility, and reducing the costs, and improvising the security, as well as reducing the downtime. Okay, so these being the objectives of virtualization. Let's move on to the next topic in our discussion, that is history of virtualization. History of virtualization. When it started. See, the virtualization, we think that, okay, because of the latest technology, virtualization has started sometime back in 2000 or so. Because why? Because the first commercialized virtual machines entity was made by VMware. That is, VMware is nothing but virtual machineware. It's an organization. So they were the first people to make it virtualization into a commercial entity. Okay. So they started evolving from the year 2000, and people think that people often mistake that virtualization has started from the year 2000 itself, but that is entirely wrong. Even before the architectures, that is RISC and CISC architectures, were formed, the virtualization was existing. This was first articulated by IBM people, that is International Business Machines people. Okay, so these people have one sort of computation, something like mainframe computers. Mainframe computers. See, what this mainframe computers used to do is, see, you forgot all these latest technologies like laptop, mobiles, computers, even the Windows software also. You just forgot all those things. Okay, think that you are, you have some task and you wanted to get it done. This is by the time in the 1960s, in the sense, what is the generation of the computer then? ENIAC or EDSAC? ENIAC or EDSAC? I don't think so. You still remember this. Do you remember those 5 generations of computers? How the evolution of computer has happened right from the calculator. Man, you got to revise all this, okay? You just being a computer student, okay? You should memorize all these things, okay? So at that point of time, there was, ENIAC computer, and ENIAC was just to receive the tasks, and the task will be done by that machine, and the output will be given. It is as simple as that, isn't it? But the people then were literally waiting outside. They were literally waiting outside. Like, in the foreign nations, you can see that there will be a washing machine store where you can walk in with your clothes to be washed, and you can wait over there for $1 or $2. You can have that washing machine availed. You put all your washing clothes to be washed into that washing machine, and then you get them washed and you walk away, isn't it? So it's again basically a service, isn't it? So similarly, even at that point of time, a service was being given in the form of the tasks, especially for the computations. If I have any sort of computations, then I used to come and I used to pay for that. I used to give what my computations are, and that computations will be taken care by this mainframe machine, and as an output I'll be given something. Okay, so what's happening was at one point of time, mainframe could only work with one task, or else in other sense I can tell only one process is being executed by the mainframe at any point of time. So, but the investment on mainframes was huge. The machine was like entire room size, and obviously the power consumption and all other things, maintenance, each and everything was more enough. So because of these reasons, okay, IBM thought that if we have multiple window kind of thing to entertain the tasks, So it's a separate counter what I can be opening. Like say for example, when you could see in Tirumala, like there will be many counters for laddus, isn't it? Okay, just assume if there is only one counter and only one person is issuing the laddus, that is a service, isn't it? Okay, so obviously, time will be consumed, more effort, more and more effort has to be induced, and the people will be waiting more for more time outside for getting their task done, isn't it? But what TTD has done, okay, they have expanded the counters. They have expanded the counters so that they could divide the crowd into amongst those particular counters. So by doing this, were they preparing separate laddus for separate counters? No, preparation was one and the same. Preparation is one and the same, and the counters will be equipped with the entities in such a way that the customer that is raising the request, okay, customer that is raising the request will be entertained. That is it, okay. So if you have a Kalyanam ticket and if you are expecting Kalyanam laddu, you will be just moving on to another counter. But again, the preparation of the laddus will be one and the same, isn't it? Excuse me, someone has gone into. Teja, can you mute yourselves?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So in this way, IBM also has thought about how about opening a separate counters for the customers that is coming in, so that all these counters requests will be consolidated and its process will be executed one at a time. That is the limitation basically what they had. So because of this, okay, because of this thought, okay, they had come up with the command lines. They had come up with the command lines, like how we connect, like how you people are connecting to Linux machine through PuTTY. Okay, that is basically a mainframe idea, mainframe's way of working. It is, one single Linux machine will be there. What you people will be doing is one single Linux machine will be there, and 60 user accounts will be created, and each of the user can access to that machine as a separate user to that machine through this PuTTY. Okay, that main machine will be somewhere else, but still it executes your tasks. It executes your tasks, and you could feel that, okay, this machine is entirely working for me. That is it. You could feel that. Okay, so this is the first activity of virtualization. Don't you think it is a virtualization? Yes, definitely. Why? Because machine is one and the same, but it is posing to the end users in such a way that it has been virtualized and it has been specifically made for their usage. So that's how virtualization has started in the 1960s. But what happened is, of course, it has raised the efficiency of mainframe computers, but slowly the evolution started, is it? The evolution started, and x86, that is nothing but a microprocessor 808, 8086 and 8088 has come into the picture, and slowly evolution of instruction set architectures has started. And of course, rest is history. What you know, like you would have studied this in computer organization, RISC architecture, CISC architecture, and how these architectures have developed into now whatever we are looking like the Pentium kind of thing. Okay, and I don't want to discuss about the evolution of the architectures, but parallelly I will discuss upon the impact of the virtualization by that development. So what has happened is, due to due to excess usage of the mainframes, okay, and slowly evaluated architectures. So people started thinking that, okay, this is not the way we should work. We should work, and we should work in a different sense, as we have now what to say, literally smaller machines than mainframes. See, mainframes was a room size entirely, and machines are to be purged into it, and people has to run through it. It's a kind of very difficult thing. It used to be in an what to say, a factory, a manufacturing factory, where you could see boilers around, people who should be running from this machine to that machine. Likewise, that side of cumbersome arrangement was there in the mainframes computer. But because of the evolution of the x86 architectures, the first personal computer has been made. First personal computer has been made something around in the year 1982, I guess, if I'm not wrong, by the Bill Gates and who is that? Steve. So these two people have prepared this first PC, first ever PC, that is workstations. Okay, so once that PC has evaluated, now people started to have their own computers, or else they started owning the computers for their specific purposes. Whether it can be for a commercial purpose or it can be for their personal purposes, it doesn't matter. But you can directly uh, uh, you could directly have altogether your own personal machine. Students, it was so fascinating at that point of time in 1982s or else in 1980s that I have seen one old English movie, and all the titles were they were just typing on the computer. I was worried. I mean, I was wondered why these people have followed that one. Later, I explored a little bit on that particular part and how that producer had that idea to have that computer to display on the titles. Then I understood that the producer was also into the computers business, and also more about that movie was more about the computer hardware parts. Okay, so and for that purpose he wanted to show the audience the future of the computer. At that point of time he wanted to show the future of the computer, and hence he showed that computer titles being typed on that computer. That's how it is. Okay, so that was the fascinating thing with the personal machines, with the PCs, what we'll be calling now. Okay, isn't it right? So because of evolution of this personal machines, okay, client server model has evaluated. Client server model has evaluated. That means as a client, I'll be having my personal machine here. As a server, there will be somewhere the server entity will be there. Whatever request I'll be raising from the client, it will be sent to the server. Server entertains those requests or else processes that request, and the result will be sent back to the customers or else to the client machines. Okay, so one interesting thing what I would like to tell here is, because of evolution of the client server model, the virtualization has almost vanished. The virtualization has almost vanished, and over a period of time people started forgetting about the virtualization model. Why? Because from the 1990s Windows came with GUI. Windows operating system has come with GUI, and also even few what to say, few particular entities like internet has evolved, and the connectivity between the client and server was more stronger and more secure for that matter. Okay, so all these reasons have suppressed the virtualization, I can say, for 20 years, for the 20 years. But over a period of time, with these machines and with this technology growing, still there were a few particular problems like hardware infrastructure utilization, and more cost for the hardware, and management costs, and disaster protection. Once if any disaster occurs, there were no the rescue part, and especially if one personal laptop lost, or if one personal PC is lost, then automatically certain amount of data or a certain amount of commitment is being lost. So keeping all these things in mind, okay, so people thought that okay, the solution for this is again lies in virtualization, and they started adapting to the virtualization. Okay, so I stop here for the day, and in the next class probably we'll be looking, okay, we'll be looking into how or else what are the virtual advantages of virtualization, pros and cons, and also the taxonomy of the virtualization. Okay, so that's what you people should be understanding. Virtualization is not a new thing. Even before the computer has started its evolution, okay, just virtualization has also started its evolution along with the evolution of the computers, that is from the first generation of computers, that is in 1960s, along with the IBM mainframe, the virtualization has started. But because of evolution of the architectures, from 1980, it started going down, and almost by the end of 1985 or so, almost people started forgetting. And close to when it comes to the 1990s, because of operating systems coming with GUI, and from then the new technologies like internet technology and web browser technology, all these things have taken wings in exploring, and because of this entirely the virtualization has been suppressed. But by the end of 2000, okay, so people started thinking that, okay, this is not the case. We have to, we cannot live with these additional costs, or else with these costly things. Just because, the hardware was very much growing, as I told, increase of hardware technology as well. And the cost involved in getting that hardware is also very much more. Okay, once you get it, again you got to maintain it. So all these things, okay, added up. All these things added up, and the VMware is the first person, okay, so who introduced the virtualization in the form of certain applications in the year 1999, close to the year 1999. Okay, so this is about the history of virtualization, and I will stop here for the day. Anyone having any doubts, I'm open to take them.